Well, hello everyone and welcome back. It's the Dota 2 Asia Championships 2015, what many are considering the TI 4.5, where we have what now probably near $2.3, $2.4 million in prize pool and rising, and we have made it into day number 3 of the group stage, and this is just our first wave. We have 9 best of ones for you, a long day of excellent Dota, and a lot of great matches I'm getting hyped about. Even the starting one here. We got CDEC Gaming going to be taking on Big God, or the old boys, or the old dogs, or the big dogs, whatever you want to call them. A lot of legendary players here and some surprisingly good up-and-comers. Bringing you the English coverage is going to be us over at Beyond the Summit. And for Beyond the Summit 2, it's me, KotLGuy, and I'm going to be joined by a nice selection and rotation of co-casters. My first one for today is going to be my good buddy, Mr. F4L Dota. How you doing? You ready for some more Dota?
I'm doing pretty good. It's going to be a much better hour for me today compared to yesterday.
Yes, yes. Last time we brought you in, like what, right in the middle?
Yeah, that's probably the worst time, but, those were some pretty... Actually, the games yesterday, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, were pretty ass.
It's okay. They were pretty one-sided, but we did get to see Black Sniper. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was very exciting. 15 kills in 15 minutes. Might be a record.
Yeah.
Actually should have looked that up, but I expect this game to be very good. CDEC versus Big God. Two teams that are doing pretty well. I believe they're both in the top 8.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Actually, that's a good point, Kevin. Let me go ahead and bring up the rankings here with something we didn't get to talk about yet with both these teams. So CDEC, well, they're at a nice 2 and 4, and for Big God, they are up and above at 4 and 2. So they're sitting in a relatively comfortable spot to start things off for the third day of group stage action. But CDEC will start to, they need to string together some wins at this point. But they have a tough test at least to start here. These guys have already pulled out some nice upsets. People question whether or not Big God, what their motivation really is. These are guys who are like, they've had their stride, they've done their championships. Now it's time to, quote, retire. And then they're like, yeah, you want to play together? Sure, why not? But it's a lot of fun. This is like the Chinese Dota version of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird playing together, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you have Zhao 8, infamous captain of many teams, LGD, and the TI4 champions, Newbie. You've got Lan M, known for his big plays on support with DK. You have Burning also, the captain of DK for many, many years. Even playing on the legendary eHome squad, and then ROTK being the captain of Vici Gaming. So a lot of big stars on the Big God roster. I guess that's why they're named Big God. And then for CDEC, we've got maybe probably the most talked about player in China right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dominating people in the mid lane.
He's like
really coming into his own.
It's like, and you got to consider the fact that he plays in one of the hardest regions of Dota that there is. And yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of mid talent in China.
It's ridiculous. I couldn't imagine. I'm already having a hard enough time in my terrible region of NA Dota. I mean, could you imagine I go over there? I'd be thrown into the wolves. It'd be disgusting. They'd be like, why didn't you
think about the mid players there? You have Mushi, Ferrari. Even Super, Yao. I mean, all of these players very accomplished.
And they get to scrim against each other. That is some serious, like, iron sharpens iron. Like, you're blacksmithing some of the best Dota you can ask for. But that doesn't always mean that you're going to get results. I mean, look at, like, Newbie. Where have they been? What have they been doing since they won their TI4? Getting with the ladies? Going on TV? They haven't been Dota. I mean, it looks like they're trying to find their formula or something. It's very, very weird.
When we see them picking, going back to their TI4 roots, they pick Luna a couple times. They seem to be more comfortable with those strats, but they just can't seem to be running what is currently being picked in this metagame. It's a little unfortunate that way. Big God gonna go with the Juggernaut Axe first picks. Follow that up with the Lion pick. Not gonna allow CDEC to get their hands onto the Troll. Maybe's best hero, I would say. They also ban the SF, so really trying to target Maybe's heroes. Although these are heroes that are very popular in the tournament right now, so banned pretty much across the board anyways.
Expect to see a lot of the big four, your Jug, your Axe, your Troll, Wisp, and recently Shadow Fiend has been absolutely coming into a new flavor. It's ridiculous. Everyone's really been now. It's almost first ban worthy. So it's just crazy how things just really come in right off the bat like that. But if we want to crunch some numbers here, I don't have the luxury of a K-pop-tosis in my little office desk area, so I have to do the numbers myself. I am getting help, of course, from the outside. KotLGuy has helped me out with some of these ones here. Day 1 top pick was like Venge Troll Batrider. Day 2, Jug, Shadow Fiend, Axe. And we see a Jug and an Axe on one team, so they got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Day 1, we hardly saw any Axe, I believe. It had fallen, because I also got that thing, it had fallen from like something like the 3rd most picked to like 13th or something.
Yeah.
Which was really surprising to me because Axe, I thought, especially in the Chinese scene, was extremely popular. So it was a little weird to see Axe sort of fall off on day 1, but making his rise back to that first pick position, and I definitely think he's worthy of it. And we also didn't see Jug too much on day 1, so a lot of teams maybe unsure of what they wanted to pick, maybe trying a couple new things early in the tournament and then sort of going back to those safer picks as we get into the later stages of the group stage, wanting to solidify their positions.
We saw yesterday already Big God play, and it was burning on the Jug. That was, I believe, Big God versus eHome, it looked like I have here on my notes. Nope, that was actually at the very beginning. It was Big God versus Hyper Glory team. Burning got his Jug again.
Did he go
went on a tear.
Medallion?
Was it that game? No, I don't think he went Medallion that game, but I did watch Jug go Medallion.
I've seen Burning a couple times actually going for the Medallion on Jug. It's a pretty interesting build. Gives you that extra minus armor during your Omni Slash. I think it's alright. I'm not too sold on it, but I know Burning, the last couple times I've seen him play Jug, has gone for that not armlet, the Medallion builds.
Okay, well, we'll see here. A Medallion probably in the hand of Visage, so no Medallion might be necessary for the Jug. So you got your support lineup for Big God. This is a bit different. Just getting the Visage a la carte is normally something you don't see as of recent, but we'll have to find out how things will develop with their 5th pick on the side of CDEC, of course. El Clasico, if you will, the Skywrath Mage Faceless Void, which was running a tear through TI4 days, has kind of faltered a bit, with recent changes to Faceless Void. His Chrono costs more mana, it's not as big, the interaction's a bit different. Skywrath Mage himself also got tweaked around a little bit, but they're bringing it back here for now. They have a lot of lockdown as well with the Batrider, so Skywrath should have a heyday as far as being able to stack on the serious damage from his Mystic Flare. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he has 2 heroes that set up for an easy Mystic Flare with both the Batrider as well as the Chronosphere from Faceless Void. Although it is a lot easier with the Void. Sometimes there can be miscommunications when using the Flaming Lasso. Where are you going to force him to? Are you going to force? Are you going to just leave him? Are you going to pull him? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into coordinating that with the Batrider. They also have the Vengeful Spirit, the top pick support currently. I would say Venge and Lion have been the most contested supports, followed by, like the AAs, Witch Doctors, stuff like this.
10 seconds
Is it
remaining.
sort of strange, actually, to see the Visage just being
5
picked by
seconds
itself?
remaining.
Yeah. Visage is down quite a ways on the list as far as day 2 action. And, of course, you can never forget
time.
Wisp has always got to be in there somehow. If he's not banned, he will be picked. I say that, but none of these teams actually care for Wisp. So this is one of the few rare times that we'll see Wisp
That is true.
ignored altogether. And yesterday, he was only picked 5% of the time, though he did warrant a ban the rest of the 77.8% of the time. So that's very
Big God
interesting.
Going with
Dire
the
team
Viper. This is kind of an interesting pick. CDEC having a lot of magical damage, but Vengeful Spirit's negative armor going to be very effective against the Viper. I expect CDEC to last pick something with physical damage. Maybe we'll even get to see that throwback. Possibly a Razor could be pretty decent here.
Wow, that'd be really TI4 intensive, with the exception of maybe Vengeful Spirit. Yeah,
I think Razor would actually be
10
quite good. Like
seconds
Razor
remaining.
versus Viper, it's a pretty even matchup.
Static
would
Link
have
goes
the-
through Blade
5
Fury.
seconds remaining.
Yep.
That's nice there. And Axe wants to fight. That's easy damage to soak. He does
Reserve
match up
time.
pretty well against Viper, but
Oh, it's gonna be
no,
the Sniper.
it's going to be Sniper. It's going to be Sniper. Well, we did read a recent stat that was posted that Sniper is 3-0 when not used by Eternal Envy,
Yeah,
but
that is a very hard matchup though. Like Sniper versus Viper. If the block is not perfect at level 1, like Zhao Weight's just gonna go sit on his hill, either get the Orb or Corrosive Skin at level 1 and just zone him out. It's gonna be a very hard lane for maybe if he is in the mid lane. Maybe they decide to swap things up, but we'll have to see what they end up doing for CDEC in the laning phase.
he's trying to channel his inner black. We saw the aim hacks really come out yesterday, and they like that just shows that the best case scenario for someone like a sniper, when you're just handed over a couple of kills right off the bat, you're going to be able to farm pretty nicely. And he even did a nice job being so mobile. It felt like when action broke out, suddenly a sniper just got involved. And then the bottom, there would be a fight. Suddenly, black is there. He seemed to always have a TP on hand, so that way when something broke out, he'd get involved. And the thing is he's a sniper, so he has great range. He just dishes out the shrapnel. He can walk on forward, and he's going to get involved with each and every kill. And with that comes the experience, comes the extra bit of gold, and he just got to such a crazy point that he may look like a little ugly man, but he was a beast, an absolute beast in that game. But we'll see if it's going to have the same luck here for maybe in CDEC's matchup against Big God. We have to start things off like we always do, F4L, with our pause, because I guess at this moment, all the Dota players, they have to go into a prayer. I don't know. I feel like we always start with a pause.
Pray to the Dota gods.
Oh, Lord Ice Frog.
That sweet 6-minute haste.
May the RNG please be with me in my spins.
Those uphill misses.
Ah, yes.
What else did you pray to?
The Omni Slash. I hope that more of my slashes take apart CDEC. Oh, well. Well, we'll see if their praise are going to be answered here. Let's lead off our introductions here, Radiant side. We got the big gods, or the big dogs. It's going to be Ice Ice, not to be confused with a Mr. Ice Ice Ice. He's going to be playing your Lion. We got Lanham, a legendary support player himself, playing the Bird Visage. We're going to have Burning playing his Juggernaut. That means that we're going to have Viper, played by the director, Zhao 8, and that will leave none other than the loud and aggressive, ballsy as ever, ROTK, playing his Axe.
Yeah, and then for CDEC in the top lane, we're going to have Mikasa playing the Bat Rider. We go ahead and look at mid. It's going to be Maybe playing the Sniper. Q going to be on the Vengeful Spirit. Garter supporting him on the Skywrath. In the offlane, we're going to have Aggressive playing the Faceless Void.
I know that he has another name, but I've just made the new policy that when players like to change their name so much, I'm just going to call them by the name they put on there, whether it's Potato or Biscuit or whatever it may be.
I mean, it is their official name, so they actually have to go in and change it.
I'm just going to imagine that's like a basketball player. He walks onto the court and he has some crazy name like Meta World Peace on the back, and you just have to read it. So I'm like, all right, I'm giving him the credit. He committed at least, 2 weeks before he could change the name to putting it in there, so fine, fair enough. But if you get confused as a viewer, then you take it up with the player, because that's apparently what's to be called. So, all right, well, we're going to see an early D-Ward here on the bottom. Lanham gets a nice 2-for-1 D-Ward special, taking out both the Sentry and the Obs. That's very good for him and very bad for Aggressive on his Faceless Void. This creep equilibrium is going to be very much in the favor of Burning early on. And mid lane,
I like this decision from CDEC to start Garter on the Skywrath in the mid lane. Make it a 2v1 matchup early. Like I said, Sniper will definitely struggle if it's a pure 1v1 up against the Viper. But with that early assistance, he gets most of the CS from the first wave, so it should be a bit easier of a time. Garter even going to be stacking for most likely the Sniper, which you can now clear the jungle stacks with that Shrapnel.
Yeah, you can almost like walk up, plop down a shrapnel, invest a little bit of damage for now, then go back, do it again later, and then when you know it's very low, you can kind of finish it off, I suppose. The range is pretty crazy still on shrapnel, and with the charges, you could just kind of plop them all down. But top lane, we might see a rotation here. Garter's coming on through, and it looks like Mikasa try to get the early hold of Axe, but he's going to be able to walk himself on out of there. So ROTK now going to get zoned back. That Skywrath Mage comes top, but he continues to move all around, and he's probably just going to be nearby for when that 2-minute rune pops up.
Yeah. And the Shrapnel has been buffed a little bit, for in terms of like clearing creep camps, damage to heroes. It does not work on towers anymore, so the push potential on it has been nerfed very significantly. And the mana cost even only 50 at all levels. That is a quite nice change for Sniper. Looks like both runes actually going to be going for CDEC.
Yeah, good grab for them. Lion even commits the stun to try to get that one, but Aggressive will take that DD and walk himself back towards the bottom. So that is a nice little booster right there. CDEC maintaining good control. Ooh, Mikasa going to go pretty deep here by the tower, and he'll walk on back. So just taking a really early look at the CS game. You can see maybe still benefiting from that early head start. He's at 11-4 to match up just about even there with Zhao Wade on his Viper at 10-3. Along the bottom, Aggressive steps back. No CS yet for him, and the zonage will continue here. You see Lanham, get the hell back, get back. But Aggressive would love to get a few pot shots in with this DD, but Lanham is trying to hide between the trees. Oh man, he's got to be careful. It's a pretty heavy bat. Now Aggressive, the DD wears off, he'll walk away.
Yeah, ROTK getting a bit more out of the offlane, already up to level 3.5 compared to the only level 2 of Aggressive's Faceless Void. So doing a very good job in this offlane. It is just a Bat Rider, so there's not too much threat of him going down early. And it does look like CDEC is prioritizing this mid lane, wanting to make sure that maybe he has a good start. You know, they started the Skywrath there. They even do a smoke gank, it looks like.
ROTK,
Looks like it's just going to be for the top.
He needs to be careful. I mean, if there's an opportunity for them to strike, they'll take it. And it doesn't look like he's going to have much of an idea as far as where these supports are. Constantly in the dark. Right now he's going to look to step back, at least for now. Maybe go for the stack on the Ancient Camp, but Ice Ice is already there on it. But very slow, methodical play, at least coming out from both sides. Burning, you know, he's got the free lane to work with on the bottom, so he's put himself right at the top of the CS for now. 18-11 for himself, and he's going to have a free lane to work with for quite a while. It looks like Aggressive is already heading towards what looks like the top rune.
Haste. Yeah, Big got to handle that situation very well. They had the Lion sitting on this hill. Would have popped any smoke ganks coming towards the mid lane. ROTK smartly going back to the jungle when he realizes that both the supports are missing. Could have spelled the end of his life, but just retreats back to the jungle. And he is getting much more done in this early game compared to the Void, who actually is just sitting in the mid lane.
Yeah, he is lost, it feels, almost as far as where he needs to go and what he needs to do. I mean, he's hanging around mid lane, level 2.5. Can't really find a way. Bottom lane is a no-go. I mean, Lanham is going to be the bodyguard of Burning, and Burning has now taken control, at least to the benefit of the CDEC side. They have the same thing kind of going for him here at the top, but that's between just two supports. So while the Bat Rider works in the jungle, it's interesting to see who's really gaining the most out of the laning phase right now for both sides. It seems to be just maybe for the side of CDEC, but while you got ROTK, who's got some good old reliable farm happening in the jungle, he's like double the level of that Faceless Void, and now they smoke up, and we'll see if they're able to get the first blood of this game as they look to play a bit aggressive.
We didn't really talk about it too much, but this lane setup from CDEC is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
You know, they put the Bat Rider in the safe lane. Sure, he might get a bit faster blink, but they just completely lose the offlane. Like, if Bat Rider is down here, at least they force the supports to stay, but the supports don't even have to do anything.
Here they go. They want to get a hold of a couple of supports. Q is going to be the first target. There's the call, but Skywrath's like, that's all I can do. I can't do anything else, and that's going to be a very easy first blood gank coming out from Big God. That came from all the way back in the mid lane. I mean, Lanham made the trip all the way from bottom to commit onto that one, but just to go on about the lane setup, I mean, is it going to be a bad matchup for Bat Rider just kind of to go solo versus an Axe? I feel like he'd be able to hold his own okay. Or do you think RTK would still be able to manhandle the Bat in that kind of a situation?
I think, well, they were probably worried about having the Void in, you know, possibly a 1v1 situation once the supports leave up against the Axe, but it's not too much better, like, the way they set it up, because now the Void can't do a single thing against this Juggernaut when he comes down here. Juggernaut already with the Morbid Mask Phase Boots, Quelling Blade, so he's going to be able to get away with pretty much anything, as he's going to be able to quickly lifesteal back up.
I feel like I've seen this before, Burning farming up well in his Jug. It's just a matter of time. He'll go on a tirade soon.
The main issue I have with putting the Sniper there is that, I mean, not the Sniper, the Bat Rider is, you're not going to farm very well. Like, even if you're free farming as a safe laner, you're going to miss CS just because of the atrocious base damage you have. You don't really have the best animation. So it's not too surprising that he has less CS than the Juggernaut.
So they are going to be starved a little bit here in the early game. And really, what can you do with a sniper who's bringing in the most really for your side? He's got the phase boots now, but this is getting ready to approach gank time. And sniper doesn't really have a whole lot to get away until he somehow gets a hold of maybe a blink dagger or maybe a shadow blade. But for now, he's got to play it extra safe. He's got to have someone nearby. He's got Q here for now. But I can't help but keep my eyes off of bottom every once in a while. Burning, I feel like, has an itchy trigger finger with that Omni Slash, maybe hoping that he can get a hold of a Grease at some point. He is continuing to bully him from this lane. I mean, no respect as he's very close to the tower, getting every sort of CS and deny he wants.
Yeah, Burning can pretty much do whatever he wants in the safe lane, like you said. LANM, you know, the supports on big game are a bit under-leveled if we compare it to CDEC, as they have just completely given this top lane over to Garter Skywrath. So he's actually up to level 6 at 8 minutes. I guess that is the trade-off that they make, having the Batrider in the top lane. He can go to the jungle early, start doing some stacks that were made, and then they just give Skywrath the lanes.
Well, he gets his level 6, and maybe they can hand it off to the Faceless Void, and he'll get his level 6, and they can have their fancy schmancy combo at a relatively good time. And even someone like Burning's Juggernaut might not be able to withstand the pressure of that Void Mystic Flare combo. So with that and having the Mystic Flare on hand, Mikasa is level 7, so he has his lasso. Let's smoke up. Let's take all these fancy new skills we got and let's put them to use.
He actually does not have a Blink Dagger, but has the Hasted Bottle. Probably the best rune you can possibly ask for early on the Batrider, but Ice in a great position here behind Xiao 8.
Will
this is
he be
a hard
there?
kill.
Yeah, it's Viper already, which is hard enough. And he has max corrosive skin, mind you. Oh, he goes in, and it's immediate Frogville for him. But now they still continue to go on to Xiao 8, the Assassinate, the Mystic Flare, everything going to be there. Burning, rotates in, dishes out the Omni Slash, maybe gets his kill, but they might lose more. Maybe now trying to run away the Blade Fury coming on out, and there is going to be the kill. LANM secures that one, and it ends up being a 3-for-2 trade, advantage CDEC. Everyone all hit the mid lane deck the second things broke out.
And the Shrapnel doing so much damage. He's actually able to lay 2 Shrapnels there. Everyone has to come through the Shrapnel to deal damage. They end up getting 3 kills onto the Snipers, so a huge advantage for CDEC in what looked like a near impossible kill onto Xiao 8 actually turns into a 3-for-2 in the favor of CDEC just because of who they got the kills on, and obviously a simple numbers advantage as well. I am still a bit concerned for CDEC because this blink for Axe could do tremendous amounts of work, and it's going to be a very early blink from ROTK's offlane X.
Yeah. At that same moment, Batrider is going to have his blink very, very soon. But here's a rotation towards the top. They do have the Chrono, and they do have the Mystic Flare. They're going to pop both of them onto ROTK head, and they do get the kill. So they secure that one, and now it's CDEC utilizing all these new tools they got and able to get a couple of sweet picks for themselves.
That's a very important kill, killing the Axe before he gets the Blink Dagger. Very nice timing to use these abilities. To get that kill onto Axe, Xiao 8 still working on his mech. That gank hurt him tremendously. He was doing quite well in the mid lane, and now he's very behind the Sniper just because Sniper got 3 kills and Xiao 8 was not. Didn't get any of those kills, was the first target to go down.
Needs put him off a bit. He needs that
he needs
mech.
200 more gold for the mech.
Yeah,
but
that
I mean,
mech.
if it's like the last fight, he's not going to get the mech off. He just got stunned and instantly bursted down, so.
Well, we'll see here. Another smoke. CDEC continue to go on the aggressive. And
bottom tower is under attack.
as they do linger, Burning is on the other side. He has help nearby. But they turn the corner. Now looking to sweep on through. They could manage to get a hold of Xiao 8 once more. There's the Blinken and the lasso right into the Mystic Flare, and he does drop once again. Burning is too late, but he wants to maybe get a hold of Q. Oh, yeah! Gets the Omni Slash off. Oh, unfortunate for Hugh to cannot run away with the rest of the group.
Wow, really good familiar
double!
stuns.
Oh, he might get him! He's moving forward, but quickly maybe comes on in there. Drops down the Shrapnel now. Ancient Seal will fly out. Burning's able to get away. LANM turns in. Uh-oh. Don't overcommit for this one. Ice. This Shrapnel could do serious work, and now he's going to get shot. But the smoke destroyed. Blaze it up, buddy. Oh, nicely played.
Oh, very nicely played. That's actually completely worth it. Like, using that smoke sure, there's only one per 10 minutes, but ends up
That
saving him
would have
there
killed him.
from dying. Yeah, I mean, it saves him from giving Sniper even more gold, so definitely worth it there. Burning is getting tremendously fat onto this Juggernaut, though, sitting at 90 CS. He's already at 6,000 net worth.
Dire's bottom tower is
Over
under attack.
1,200 more than the next person in the game, so Burning doing quite nicely on this Juggernaut in the early game. Has the Yasha completed? It'll be interesting to see if he goes for a Saint Yasha or the Manta style.
Dire's bottom tower
More than
is
likely,
under
I think
attack.
we'll see the Manta just because they have the silence coming from the Skywrath.
Yeah, that would
It's
certainly would help.
also quite nice against Batrider. If Batrider blinks, you can Manta.
Can you Manta the Assassinate?
Mm,
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I haven't
I would
personally done
imagine
it.
so.
I don't think I'm good enough to do it, but I would imagine. I mean, if you could do it with a smoke, for God's sakes, I would
Yeah.
think you could do it with the Manta. So, hey, that's a small little side perk.
I
Help
think
out.
I'm not sure, like if it works when you Manta, if it just cancels the Assassinate.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Well, we might get our answer here in this matchup. So you see the shrapnel fly out. Mind you, the shrapnel was changed. It's not going to do any damage to the structure, but still, very nice slow and very good dot over time. And with those 3 charges, you could see just how much damage it did to the support alone. Ice previously, it was only because of that smoke he managed to walk away with his life. So right now, speaking of smokes though, CDEC again pull out one of their own. And it looks like they're just kind of all over the place, seeing if they can find anyone from Big God, but they're not there.
Big
They
God
are.
doing a great job
Smoking
recognizing
themselves.
this smoke.
Tower is under
Where'd
attack.
they go? They handed off the smoke. Who has it? Who's got the smoke here? Oh, there it is. Okay.
So they're actually going to smoke themselves. I don't think either team is going to accomplish anything with these smokes. All of CDEC in the bottom lane looking to push this bottom tower. Actually, Big God, CDEC wanting
Okay,
to defend
they
mid lane.
did take the rune.
Radiant's
It
bottom
was
tower is
under dire
attack.
vision, so if they were paying attention,
Dire's middle
they might know
tower
something's
is
up,
under
but they
attack.
still make the jump on the Mikasa in the mid lane. And there is going to be the kill. But here comes the Omni. They get a second follow-up. RTK's in big trouble. He will drop in exchange, but here comes Aggressive. Drops down the big Chrono. Gets a hold of Ice, but no one else. But the lasso does come. The buyback from Mikasa to get right back involved. He eats the finger. This could be a dieback, and it is. Mikasa's going to go down. Burning gets a double kill for himself. Land him in big trouble. He'll fly away from that one, but no, the time walk does come over. In the meantime, they're able to take down Ice. Skywrath Mage gets that one, and up and above, Aggressive going to get isolated. The help from the birds. Land him from the grave. Secures Burning a very nice triple kill.
Yeah, Lanham playing extremely well on the Visage. That was some of the most impressive Visage play. I mean, if you just watch what Lanham did in that fight, that was very, very impressive. 1v1's the Sniper, ends up taking him down, gets time walked by the Void, does not panic, summons new familiars, gets the double familiar stun to set up Burning. An easy kill for him with those nice stuns, and very nice team fight for Big God. Even I believe the Batrider bought back and died as well, so a dieback for the Batrider. Looking good for Big Game.
Yeah, this is the biggest boost for either team. It looked like for a while their CDEC were getting a lot done. They had a very nice pick with the Chrono Mystic Flare. The Batrider's debut Blink Dagger was a successful pick. But with that big fight and Burning getting so much out of it, this is easily the biggest peaking point so far in the game. Over 3K net worth advantage right now for Big God. Burning. He's got his now Shadow Blade. This is what he went last time when he was snowballing out of control, now that I think about it. And he is looking to do a lot of the same. And oh, he could get a sweet chicken dinner. He even gets the help of Lanham. He's making the go. Guard's like, why are these birds here? Oh, crap! He gets annihilated from Burning. And with that, it looks like Big God are going to be able to follow up with a tier 1 takedown. Not if maybe has anything to say about it. He puts down the early shrapnel drop. The glyph is going to be there. And maybe they'll be able to push back Big God for now. They still need 20 seconds, though, before Skywrath can come back.
Yeah, no Chronosphere available, but it is coming off cooldown. 5 seconds remaining until that spell is
Oh, he gets sought out. The ward is on the high ground. They see him. They go for the dunk. It's not going to be there, but they take out the Faceless Void. No Chrono for you. Mikasa could be next to drop. Swap does not matter, and now Q could be pressured next. They lose 3 total. It could be 4. Another stun from the bird, and a chop on down from Burning. Unstoppable for your Juggernaut, and now they easily secure that tier 1. Oh, man, they had a beautiful ward set up. Faceless Void thought he was going to have a good opportunity to get that Chrono off, but ROTK just rains on his parade.
Yeah. And again, you know, we talked about, we don't see this Visage being picked up too much, you know, especially on its own without that Dro pairing. But if you're going to play as well as Lanam's playing right now, I mean, that definitely justifies picking up this hero. It seems like every fight towards the tail end of these fights, he gets off a double stun and it just nets them an additional kill. So very well played by Lanam.
And you're a big
there.
Visage player. I mean, I know you've played it a lot. I mean, I can't play the hell out of this thing. The birds are just free gold. I am pretty much the sixth man for the other side when I play Visage. But when you see it in the hands of a real artist like Lanam is right now, it's a wonderful thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, so another fun fight won by Big God. But it is important to note that CDEC do have this late game advantage. They have the Void, the Sniper. These heroes devastating in the late game if they can find the farm, and it's especially on the Sniper.
Oh, that's a solo pick
Oh,
on the
yeah.
other side. They were making, or trying to make an attempt to go on ROTK on the bottom, but it looks like Burning just gets a nice one-on-one opportunity with Mikasa, and then under the Omni Slash, there's really no chance. But at that same moment, bottom lane, they were thinking about maybe making it go. But even before the wave could connect, ROTK with the instant blink back, they're not going to catch him. So that was time wasted for the rest of CDEC trying to get something for themselves while they lose their Batrider.
And Burning actually going for a Lothar's on this Juggernaut, so no one's going to be safe split pushing on this map. He's basically with this build, it's going to be very difficult for any of these heroes to split push. You know, if the Sniper ever gets caught out farming, you know,
Dire's
the
top
Ancients
tower
or
is under attack.
any area that's not near a tower, he can easily get bursted down by the Omni Slash coming up from Burning.
Dire's top tower has
It's a very interesting build, not
He
something we
is
see too much in competitive.
Very fast, though. This is a marathon build. He's race car and out of control at this point. Mask of Madness, Saint Yasha, and the Shadow Blade. And, I mean, like I said, he had that Shadow Blade the last time he played it, and he just caught up to anyone. And he got all these extra right clicks, auto attacks, and crits. And now top lane, they're making it go. Bird on bird hate right here as the Batrider is able to lasso up Lanam, and they do get that pesky Visage. So Lanam is going to be out.
They also get that D ward, very important to restrict the vision from Big God so that they cannot continue to snowball their advantage.
There's still that one ward there. They have a sentry on the hand of Garter. They plop it down. It's going to be out of range. They still have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on that ward, and it looks like they plant one themselves. I don't know if they were looking at it. Lanam could be from the dead, taking in this bit of information, seeing that they planted a ward and could go for the D ward later. But meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to make a push and finish off that tier 1 on the bottom.
Well, they actually see that Burning's Invis running towards
Dire's
the top
bottom
lane.
tower has fallen.
Nicely placed sentry ward, although it does not.
Oh, they're going on bottom. Chrono's there. Aggressive could be the one in trouble. Man, he backtracked that finger, and now Zhao 8 is going to be finished off. And with that, the swap back going to happen onto Ice. Ice, meanwhile, ROTK gets right on into the heart of the battle, but they finish off the support line. ROTK is going to be next. CDEC on a roll right here. Mikasa able to get away from the long soul assumption. Lanam could be in trouble. Mystic Flare is going to be there, and here comes Burning. Under the Shadow Blade, gets a hold of Garter. Slash once, slash twice, you're dead. And now he's looking for Aggressive. No one is safe from Burning's wrath. He moves forward, gets that kill right there. Double kill for Burning.
I mean, that looked so terrible for Big God, but Burning just comes in and
Dire's
cleans up
top
with
tower
the help
is
of
under
Lanam.
attack.
They might even get Roshan off the back end of this. Let's see how aggressive they want to play.
He is beasting right now. Almost 14k net worth. The next closest is Sniper
I
at
mean,
8k.
He still has Omni Slash as well, so I think they can do Roshan. Yeah, Lanam, looks like Lanam wants to do Rosh. Burning, scouting out a little bit, but should just go into the Rosh pit.
He is a
Should be an
monster.
easy kill with the medallion.
Yeah, just a monster. He plants down the ward. We saw someone earlier, I can't remember who, they placed the ward up there on the high ground, and it still offered the heal. So, you know, it's kind of the same way we've seen those mass separate wards recently placed up and above. But here we go. Mikasa, just a little too late to interject. Could have been a big play if he got the flame break out and quickly snagged it on up, but unfortunately, they get the job done. Burning now, who's already beastly enough. It's going to take 2 takedowns now to claim that big bounty.
Yeah, you know
Not
the
done.
the worst thing about Burning's build right now is that that's what I'm going to see in pubs for the next 2 weeks.
Everyone have your dusts ready, which no one in my pubs get, so
Oh,
we're screwed.
boy. Aggressive could be in trouble as Burning is going to scout him out. Does he go for
Aggressive. He does go for the time walk. Burning, can he get him in time? No, very close. He puts out the Mask of Madness there at the back end to get that little bit of extra move speed burst, but it's not going to happen.
barely gets out of there. And if you're CDEC right now,
Dire's middle tower
you know,
is under attack.
you need to keep the sniper safe, keep him farming those items, but it's just so difficult right now. As Burning is going to come in the backside. He would love to get his hands
Oh, they
on
have the
sniper.
sentry. They see him. They stun Mystic Flare, but he has the BKB. He pops it and walks into the Chrono. Now Aggressive just takes him out. That's going to be just the Aegis, mind you. So now, with the second life burning, looking to come back. Omni Slash still at the ready here. And he does cancel the Assassinate. That tier 2 still standing.
That was a little unfortunate for Burning, but you know, they only get the Juggernaut's Aegis for using the Chrono, so still a good trade for Big Gods. Maybe not the perfect trade there, as I think Burning could have just walked away.
That BKB, it's his most recent pickup, and I'm sure he's happy he grabbed it there. So, did have to use it before the Aegis pop. Was hoping that he'd be able to survive the initial one, but with the Chrono placement, it was just right in his face. Even with the quickest reaction, I think it was going to be too hard to get out of that pickle. So, with that, CDEC do lose another structure, and it looks like Big God potentially have eyes on top, though they're already taking away all of this farm from the CDEC jungle. And at this point, there's not going to be much for scraps as far as farm for CDEC.
There's a smoke coming up from CDEC. It is worth noting that the Bat has now picked up a Force Staff, so going to be able to kidnap someone, bring him closer to his team. Aggressive.
Have nice view now to see their positioning.
Actually has a Blade of Alacrity, not something we see too often on a Faceless Wood.
There's the jump in, the lasso comes, but he gets hexed up. Meanwhile, Aggressive and ROTK end up going into toe-to-toe. Finger's going to be there to finish off Mikasa. Q gets dunked, and CDEC are on the run, but the Soul Assumption's going to finish off the Birdman, and now they take on the Tier 2. It's looking like Big God pretty much have CDEC's number in this matchup.
Yeah, that was a very odd decision coming out from CDEC. A little strange, just because they don't have their big AoE teamfight ultimate in the Chronosphere. It's also an extremely difficult tower to defend, especially if you start losing the fight, because where do you retreat to? Fortunately for them, they had the Mask of Madness Shadow Blade on the sniper, making him extremely fast, able to skirt away, and they have the Time Walk on the Faceless Void for him to get away. Otherwise, that could have been a 5-0, but it's just a bit odd that they just chose to fight without the Chronosphere. So that cost them 2 towers and 3 lives.
Very unfortunate this is. Quickly escalating out of control as far as net worth. 14K and on the rise. If you look at the hero net worth, it's Burning and then everyone else. He is about 17K net worth, almost to the double point.
I mean,
Sniper.
Half of the advantage is just on Burning. Like, if you compare him to Sniper, that's half their net worth advantage.
That's
he has
absolutely
a Basher.
crazy.
I mean, he has 6 items at 25 minutes. Sure, they're not all tier 4 items, but that's still pretty insane.
I'm playing Jug, maybe back in the day. I'm hoping I have a Battle Fury by now. This is ridiculous. Sanjin Yasha, Shadow Blade, Phase Boots, BKB with 8 seconds to use, Mask of Madness, and now a Basha. Soon enough, an Abyssal Blade. I'm going to look away to someone else. When I come back, he'll have an Abyssal Blade. He'll have a Courier with 3 other slots. It's going to be out of control. So, CDEC, man, what do you do if you're CDEC at this point? I mean, I'm sure Big God are going to wait it out, be patient, maybe secure a secondary Aegis if they want to. But for CDEC, what do you do? I feel stumped.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard situation to be in. You just have to hope and pray that the game goes long enough and Sniper can carry at this point. I mean, can't ask for anything more. They need to be able to kill this Juggernaut during a Chronosphere or a Lasso. So once Sniper gets enough damage to do either of those things, then I think CDEC have a good shot in this game, but it's going to be quite difficult to get to that point. And Sniper always has to be very careful about his positioning up against the X. Has to stay out of that blink call range. It's not an easy Sniper game.
And we can try to theorycraft now the Faceless Void option to go with the Blade of Alacrity, and the only thing that's coming to my mind is a Manta, which we have seen occasionally on your Void, but what does the Manta offer here? I suppose mitigating the damage from Omni Slash is probably the top thing. A Yasha, I mean, a Diffusal, which I don't see any worth here.
Yeah, it's just an odd build to have a Blade of Alacrity. Like, he should be working towards a BKB, I would think, at this point. Or, it's going to be that Yasha, but... I mean, you would think if you wanted damage, he would go Maelstrom. And if you want survivability, you go BKB. I just don't see where the Yasha fits in.
Yeah. we're stretching on that one, but I agree. BKB would probably be the safer road in this kind of a game. You go in, and with the position that Big God have had, Ice Ice has been happy to be on the back lines. If you don't catch him in that chrono, he'll easily just kind of move on forward and get you, and you won't be able to achieve a whole lot even inside your own bubble. But I guess with that, he could hop in, Manta, inside his own bubble, and then maybe you don't know which one's which, and you have to guess who to sheep up. And meanwhile, your sniper will be unloading some damage from the outside. It seems like a Hail Mary kind of a play, but CDEC will try what they can. They're limited on options, and they're losing their Tier 2 now on the bottom. This removes all outer towers. CDEC very deep behind enemy lines and enemy territory here.
I think CDEC doing the right thing here. Instead of trying to defend that Tier 2 tower, they learned from their previous mistake. Just opt for the split push, the mid and the top lane. Xiao 8 does TP mid, so not going to get the mid tower, but I think top should be fairly uncontested at this point. It's just too difficult to try to defend this Tier 1 tower. So finally getting their first tower of the game at 28 minutes.
It's been known up to this point that Secret's a team that's been not allowing very many towers throughout the whole tournament. Actually, rarely an opponent can take down 3. And Big God looking pretty on par with that in this. I mean, CDEC have a lot of gold on the map they could snag up, but they just don't feel quite comfortable enough. They have to do sneaky tactics, it feels, to even get a tower like that. But Big God are well in control of this one. And look back to Burning. He's got near 2,400 gold already. An Abyssal Blade will reach critical mass at that point, and he can pretty much try to put a lid on this game. And for CDEC, they got to hope for one hell of an overthrow from Big God.
Yeah, it looks like maybe actually goes for a Maelstrom next item, not something we typically see on snipers anymore. So he has the Mask of Mana, Shadowblade, Yasha, Maelstrom. Fairly glass cannon sniper build, but at this point I don't really blame him. We talked about how he really needs to be able to dish out a lot of damage. You know, hopefully they get a multiple hero Chronosphere or a very nice lasso. They just blow him up with that sniper damage.
Well, they could lose in mid lane. Oh, Aggressive is heading out the other way. Fortunate for him, but he has got to be very nervous. He pulls right away. Oh no. Oh, it's close. One smoke does pop. And they're pinging about maybe the ancient camp. No, they're not there. CDEC are completely down on the other side. Where are they? Do they have TPs? They got some there. They got some there. They better find a way to get on out, because trouble's coming from behind.
Yeah, this could easily turn into a disaster for CDEC.
They're the birds.
Big God is closing in.
Oh, they all quickly TP out of there when they see trouble's coming. Maybe doesn't make it. ROTK catches him and gets the call off. Oh, a dunk to the face. So close to slipping out, but one can't make it. And it's the best one for Big God to grab.
Well, what a play from ROTK. I don't even think he knew if anyone was in there. But just blinking in, getting the call off. Sniper was even Lothar's at that point, so very unfortunate for maybe to get called there. It's the only way that his TP gets canceled.
Oh man, they both read each other very nicely. They knew exactly where the other team was.
Short Roche spawn.
And a DD. How fortunate.
Yeah, of course.
So
no, Roche spawns. Let's just get a DD in the bottom rune location.
It's like, please kill me now. There you go. So
I mean, Roche is just there to die.
I guess yeah, this is
fast.
Ow, my God damn it, Burning, no! Yeah, easy kill. He what does he drop there? Who put that?
Oh, the Shadowblade.
Oh, the Shadowblade. Alright, so some extra value in having the extra life.
An Abyssal.
They're like, I got a DD, let's just go.
Yeah, definitely better to have the Aegis than the Shadowblade. Shadowblade not too useful at this point. It's not a great base cracking item. It's very good when they're outside of their base, but once they're inside of the base, you're only going to get those stats from it. Not even the best, you know, stat item per se.
Okay, Big God. It's time to wrap things up. At least that's what the plan is for them. CDEC, we got plan B. We got high ground defense. Let's try our best to make sure we synergize everything as good as possible, going for the most optimal lasso isolation kind of a play into a beautiful Mystic Flare in hopes they don't have the BKB pop. Aggressive, maybe a zoning chrono, catching them all out while maybe unloads the damage. This is the dream. It's feeling like a hole-in-one, but
so difficult now because Okay, I think the way that they have to do
Radiant's
this
top tower
is
is under attack.
you lasso Burning, you kidnap Burning, and then you force step him in, and then you swap him to the tier force.
He dies
is
once,
sort of-
and then his
He
Aegis
dies
pops,
once, and then you kill him again.
and then you hope
Tier
to kill him
force.
again because you're so deep in there.
Well, you probably just chrono him the second time, and then their Jug is dead, so they probably can't fight you. I think that is the best play for CDEC.
Yeah, how about like a force forward into base, the swap back as far as possible. Batrider's lassos him into the fountain. That's the dream.
Or I think you initiate on him with lasso. Batrider forces him into the base as far as he can get.
Yeah.
Then you swap him into the tier 4s, and then you try to kill him. But that's the only way I foresee CDEC holding this push.
Okay, well, looks like Big God want to go on top lane where the Raxes are already exposed. Well, this is it. CDEC, they don't take this fight, or don't put up at least a match-even fight. This is going to be over pretty fast. Birds could drop quickly. They immediately go down. Now Mikasa walks away after eating the Viper Strike. Glyph is going to be popped as Burning wants to chop on down with his Mask of Madness popped. Well, maybe on the backhand side trying to get a few pot shots in. He has
Actually
no
gonna take down
buyback.
Burning.
They get Burning's first life. ROTK jumps in, does not catch anyone with the call. And now there goes Faceless Void. Catches nicely 3, and on top of Burning, he could drop a second time. They pull him back, and he will go down. He is out 80 seconds. No buyback. The Rax will still be dropped, but Big God have to walk away before they lose a whole lot more. Ice will be taken down. ROTK does get the call off, but still trying to get away and on the run here. Lanham slows down Mikasa. ROTK very, very low. Concussive shot blinks away. He's going to go ahead and go for the retreat. He has no TP, mind you, just 8 charges to his wand. Oh, the shrapnel connects. He's going to be slow. Assassinate there, trying to call for the extra armor. Not going to matter. Maybe on a killing spree. And it may have not been the absolute dream, but that was a defense coming out from CDEC. I am surprised how quickly and able they were to take down Burning twice.
I mean, that's what they had to do, though. They have to kill Burning without expending too much. Then on the respawn, they get the immediate chronosphere. They actually don't time the chrono perfectly. You know, if they chrono him before he spawns, he doesn't get the BKB off, and then he just completely explodes. They wouldn't have even had to use the lasso on him because the BKB wouldn't have been on. But in the end, it was still a nice hold from CDEC. They do lose the melee racks, but they get 2 kills for their trebles.
Maybe
And
their third
showing
tower.
some life as well.
All right.
Radiant's
All
middle
right.
tower has
This
fallen.
is step 1. We got more steps to go. Oh, Lanham gets a nice little kill right there, hand in hand with Zhao Wei. They take down the other flying freak and the Batrider. And with that,
Radiant's middle
CDEC will have to
tower
pull
is
off.
under attack.
But Big God just get a nice little grab right there. Nothing too devastating for either side. But
I mean, now he has a Daedalus completed. Maybe it's going to do so much damage. I mean, we saw how much damage he did to Burning in that base defense. And now picking up a full Desolator. I mean, he has no buyback at this point, so this is a completely all-in move.
yeah.
You know, if they can catch him with, you know, let's say an Axe Call or even a Viper Strike, he's most likely going to die at that point.
They see him top. They have a ward on the high ground, and they are beelining it that way. Do they know it's coming? They don't know yet. There's no vision there.
He's gonna
Maybe
get away.
he's going to pull out the preemptive Shadow Blade. Oof, better to play it safe, fellas. They get back and inside their safe haven, and Big God will have to pull on out. They keep the pressure on all 3 lanes. Could wait it out again for Roche, knowing that it's much less comfortable for CDEC to do anything outside the front door. So we could see a bit of a stall coming out here from Big God.
It looks like we have the BKB on the Batrider. So all of these CDEC heroes actually valuing the item purchases over the
Buyback, yeah.
buyback availability. The only person saving buyback is the Faceless Void. It sort of makes sense because he's really the only hero. You know, if let's say the Void gets the chrono off and you lose the fight, buybacks aren't going to matter at that point because
Yeah.
you have no controls. So
With
Void
that,
really the only hero that needs to have buyback,
yeah,
I would say at this point.
tremendous damage coming out from Maybe. He has put together some gold. If they stall out a little bit longer, he could save up the money for a buyback just in case. But
I mean, it's very difficult to push into a sniper.
Yeah.
He can constantly spam the shrapnel. 1,000 range auto attacks.
Interesting.
The headshot being
ROTK,
very, very annoying.
ROTK went with the Agnum Scepter now, or at least finally completed it. So
Yeah, I think it's a good choice. The threshold becomes 625. I mean, Sniper's HP is 1100. They don't even have to get him down to 50%. Like 60% of his life, and he
Yeah.
can get chopped.
fair enough.
Just going to be very difficult. Like, this
Getting a
whole
hold of
game
him.
just revolves around the Sniper. Like,
He's got
can
that good
Sniper
positioning.
stay safe, or can his team keep him safe?
That's where I
have
thought
the Venge
almost
swap.
a Blink Dagger would have been better than a Shadow Blade, just to secure maybe better positioning. But
Yeah, I mean,
does get the
the
damage.
Shadow Blade, yeah, it has netted him a lot of
Yeah.
useful stats. So
speaking of Blinks, though, you're gonna get one on Lanham on his Visage. And it's in his stash now. So interestingly enough, Big God scout out a regen rune. Just kind of continue to swarm and take advantage of more of the economy that's on the map. We still got another minute or so, 30 seconds before we'll even see how long it will be before this Roche does come up. And I'm sure Big God are hoping that it's going to be a pretty small timer here. And CDEC just continue to play the stall game in hopes that they can put together another successful fight. One more big, good fight like that, and they can start to breach the other side, start taking tier 2s, and next thing you know, we're even.
I like what Big God are doing. They're starving the map out from CDEC. CDEC only able to farm the lanes out right now. Big God farming every part of the map. They're farming, you know, the enemy jungle, both ancients, while they wait for the Roshan. So they're in essence out farming CDEC right now.
Yeah.
While they're waiting for Roshan.
And
this is a smart play because we see like just how quickly these fights can turn. So it's very important to have that second life.
plus whatever stuff they farm in this top lane is not even as fruitful as it once was. Maybe we'll work with it for now, but and more or less it's give maybe all the farm, the supports, just continue to wait and wait until it's their time to execute when the fight does come. So with that, it's just like little sheep all moving together, waiting for that fight to come. And Roche is a really small timer. Oh man, I didn't even get the chance to see what it was going to be. So it comes up that damn fast. Fortunate enough for Big God, they get it. This is a cheese Roche, and it looks like that cheese is going to go to, where is it right now? I don't even see it.
Should be on Axe.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is on Axe. Okay, so RTK is going to hold that one. And
So
now it's
Burning
their time.
actually dropping his Mask of Madness so that he can pick up the Aegis. Has a Blink Dagger now, so has the tool to blink Abyssal. It's also quite nice because you can blink after the Omni Slash ends. Get yourself back to safety. Maybe
Burning,
does have buyback available for this
yeah.
defense. That's the big difference between the last time. So this is going to be a little easier, I would say, for CDEC. Or at least a bit less stressful because they know that they have the buyback. So it's going to be 2 lives on the Jug against the 2 lives of the Sniper.
Well, 3 lag. I guess
see
Burning
that
does have
holds.
buyback, but no boots of travel to easily get in there. Does he have the money to buy back and
he
get
has,
boots of travel, maybe?
Yeah, he should.
All right, so
'cause he
it
can
could
sell
come
the
to
face.
that. It could come to that. We'll see. They stall, they wait, they're smoked up, trying to leave CDEC in the dark as much as possible. They see a couple of them out there, but there is more waiting in the wings. And now, Zhao Wait on his Viper goes towards the high ground. Your first shrapnel charge is going to pop off there. And this is just going to be very timid play. One bad fight for Big God. This game could go right back to dead even. And for
Yeah, I think
CDEC, yeah, if they
I think
lose,
if
it's
Big
over.
God, if Big God have one bad fight right here, and CDEC get a team wipe or a significantly one-sided fight, it could easily become an even game. So, Big God making sure that they don't make any mistakes while they're pushing up is a very tense moment in this
Yeah.
game for both teams.
And we saw one pick. That was a Batrider bottom lane, what feels like 10 minutes ago at this point. This is just the bloodsheds. It could be over. So there's the jump in. Zhao Wei goes for an immediate Viper strike onto Maybe and now starts to focus Q. Meanwhile, RTK goes to the left-hand side and gets a big call. They take down the Skywrath Mage and they want to go double dunk. Faceless Void is dead. He will not have a buyback and he will not be able to get the Chrono off. The cheese is popped from ROTK. They take down the first life of Maybe, and Big God breach the base in a really good execution of a good game plan. Q is going to be going down. Maybe is just going to try to fire from the fountain, but I think it is going to be over. Big God, get in there and get it done.
KotLGuy. And honestly, they didn't have buyback on the Void. He actually opts for the BKB instead of saving the buyback. I think that's a mistake because Void is the main hero that can win you these team fights with the Chronosphere. You definitely have to get a Chrono off with this sniper strat, and going for the BKB did not work out in the end for him. He ends up getting Axe called. Beautiful initiation from ROTK, sealing the deal in this game. I believe he caught onto the Skywrath as well as the Void, and then they just instantly blew Void up, and that ends up being the game. So nice game plan from Big God, excellent performance from both. I would say Lan M and Juggernaut played a fantastic game.
Oh yeah, I mean, Burning again just shows why he's called the Big God. Lanham, it's just a beautiful support overall. They executed very nicely. Long, timid play from both sides, and at a drop of a hat, it is just all over. That's pretty much Dota for you in a nutshell. So with that said, that's going to complete wave number 1, or heat number 1 of today's group stage action. We got 8 more best of ones coming your way. The next match that's going to be happening on this channel is going to be Tong Fu taking on Hyper Glory Team. I will be back. My name's KotLGuy. Catch me on my Twitter at KotLGuy, and so will F4L and his Twitter. Catch him and show him some love and support at F4L Dota. Thanks so much for sticking around. We'll be back in just a moment.